For the military families that are going to have the opportunity of seeing some of this, you'd mentioned this friend that I think you guys live on the same street.
In the same neighborhood.
In the same neighborhood, and your daughters are actually friends?
Our daughters met, they were in the same class at their elementary school, which is how I met her family.
So like many military families, they live similar locations and have similar experiences. But you were saying that your friend's husband eventually took his life?
He did, yes.
But what led up to that? And there was some irony with that as well?
Our friends, we had only been in the school district for a little while, but our daughters bonded. You know, they had, you know, similar personalities. They really liked each other and had spent quite a bit of, you know, after school and on the weekend time together. And as it turned out, my daughter had a birthday party, and we had a great big pool party, and 15 little girls swimming in the same little swimming pool, having a great time. And you know, I hadn't had much opportunity before that to meet her parents because we were just busy moving into the neighborhood. And they had came over to drop their little girl off at our pool party, and it was just the mom, and she said, you know, I've got some issues going on at my house. You know, I need to go home and take care of that. I'm so glad, you know, I can bring her over here to kind of get out of the house. You know, my husband, she had identified as being, you know, a retired Navy guy, and he's having a difficult time with some things that had happened while he was deployed with the Navy. Well, she left. You know, the little girls played. Eventually, the party came to an end, and all the little girls went home. My daughter actually went next door to our neighbor's house to play with their little girls, and that's the night I had my domestic violence episode. Well, ironically, the next day, you know, my husband was forcefully taken out of the house, taken away out of the situation. My daughter wanted to go play at her friend's house, the family that we're talking about, and I went over there to drop her off. I was not in a very good state of mind myself, and she wasn't in a very good state of mind either. And she had said that, you're not going to believe this. You had your thing happen on your day. I had to take my husband to Balboa Hospital and put him in treatment because he tried to jump off the roof and kill himself. The same day. You know, so at that point we were kind of kindred spirits. We had some things to talk about. A lot of military people, as a coping mechanism, a lot of things we don't talk about. You know, this is this very, very secret thing. It's embarrassing, it's humiliating. You don't want to tell people bad things are happening in your life. And so we were able to kind of talk each other and kind of lean on each other when we felt very, very much alone otherwise.
Do you think she understood why he wanted to jump off? Did he actually jump off the building, or was she able to talk him down?
He had tried a number of different things. He tried to jump out of a moving car. He jumped off the roof and hurt himself. He had tried many, many different things.
And do you think she understood what was going on with him?
At the time, she just thought he had a problem with alcohol. As it came out, and through seeing some of his medical records and things, then, you know, it came real clear that it was very, very military driven. A specific event had happened while he was a Navy gunner that created the demons in his head that he couldn't cope with.
PTSD, sometimes that urge to push things away becomes so strong that the only way you can push it away is to die. And so sometimes that happens.
He just really, really wanted to not deal with it. He really, really wanted not to be here.
And he eventually was successful?
He was very successful. He took too many prescription medications. He took Tylenol 3, which is bad in combination, and he drank alcohol on top of it. He really wanted to not be here with us.
And you said that it's really affected her now to the point where she's not coping?
She's not coping at all. She's She now has a little bit of a prescription drug problem herself. That's her way of hiding things. She checks out for days at a time. Scary bad where she can't get her daughter to school. She doesn't get out of bed. She...
I want you to know before you go any further that even though we're just doing this as taping, we're both mandated reporters. So if you tell us something that we think her child's at risk, we need to report that to Child Protective Services. And I guess my question to you is, do you think her child's at risk?
I don't think she's necessarily at risk. I don't think she gets the attention she necessarily needs at all times, and I feel like it's my responsibility in my chaotic life as it is to make sure that our daughter gets where she needs to go.
How old is her daughter?
She's going to be, she actually just turned 11.
So she's the same as your daughter. Okay. So you think that it's more an issue of she's not getting as much attention, but you don't think...
Emotionally, and she's kind of gotten into the... Her mother is so sad, she wants to be sad like her mom, because that's what her mom wants.
Okay. Okay.
If you get her out of the environment, she's perfect. You know, I've taken her out by myself and spent alone time with her.
Right.
She's perfectly well adjusted, can have a great conversation, is not in that cycle of depression, but you walk her back into the environment. Oh, I'm depressed. Oh, I'm sad. Because that's what her mother needs her to be.
Have you seen other military families going through similar type things from the experiences of deployment and that their military members have?
I see a lot of anxiety. I don't necessarily see the depression that I have had to deal with, but my circumstances are very different than most.
Jenna, I want to be clear with you about this, that if you think that little girl is in any kind of danger, there are lots of resources that can be very helpful. And one of the things that happens is that sometimes when you focus on the child, the parent gets in the spotlight. And sometimes that's enough to make them pay attention and seek some additional help. I'm not suggesting that's a strategy you ought to use, but I want you to know that if you think at any point that this kid really is in danger, even if the mother, you know, whether the mother thinks it's a good idea or not, there are lots of people who can help you see that that girl's safe.
Right.
In the military and outside of the military.
I don't know that her safety is in jeopardy. I just feel like she's not getting a good example of how she should live her life.